Thank you for tuning in to JMC Garage Talk here in the JMC Garage. And as you can see, I have the hood up on the Riviera, but we're not talking about this today. We're going to talk about another subject not related to this, but stay tuned as a video about this is coming up. As you can see, there's a big gaping hole in the engine. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But let's go over to this Ford Escape over here, and let's discuss a feature that is very, very controversial to many. So let's go ahead and we'll discuss that. Hop in the other side there. It is bright out, so I'm going to put my sunglasses on. Let's start it up. Now this right here is a 2024 Ford Escape Active, and like most modern vehicles, this Ford Escape, in fact, let me get the air conditioner going here real quick. There we go. This Ford Escape is equipped with something that is very controversial, and I'll display it right here. It is this almost like a full circle. It has an arrow with an A in the center of it. That is the auto start stop. Now, let me kind of show you how that works, and I'm going to kind of demonstrate how, if it's done right, the auto start stop can actually save you fuel a little bit, but it can also not be such a detriment to where people complain about it. So let's go ahead and get on the road here real quick. As I'm driving in this Ford Escape here, we're going to go down the road. I don't want to have the climate control too much. Let's see here. Let me bring down the fan a little bit. All right. So as we're going down the road here, auto start stop works in the premise of when you stop and your foot is on the brake, it will actually shut off the engine for about a minute, up to a minute and a half. And then if you don't happen to restart it within that minute or a minute and a half, or if your foot lets off the brake before that, it'll actually restart. Or if you're still foot on the brake after that minute and a half, it'll restart on its own. So what I mean by a lot of people don't understand this, or a lot of people are very frustrated by it, but I'm here to tell you that in this particular vehicle, in this Escape, and in many others that have the auto brake hold feature, this can actually be helped. So I'm going to come up to the stop sign right now, and I'm going to press and hold my brake to a full stop. My brake hold is on. If I shut off my AC, it's not going to do it right now. Let me see if I can go down here and get it to do it. So usually, as long as there's no demand of heating and cooling from the system, you can come to a full complete stop, which I'm about ready to do. I'll shut off my AC. Yep. And let's see. Maybe I'll come up here to a full complete stop, and we'll see if it'll do it. Usually, if the system, if everything's working correctly, it'll actually shut off the engine, and it'll stay off. So I'm going to come to this stop over here. Okay, engine's off. Now, what's nice about this is my foot is off the brake, the engine is completely off, and my brake hold is on. How I'm able to do this and how you really utilize the auto start stop system is you really need the brake hold feature. This way, your foot is not constantly on the brake. Now, this doesn't work if you're in traffic. In fact, if you're in traffic, I would suggest shutting off the auto start stop feature. Most vehicles nowadays, you can hit a button to shut off the auto start stop feature. But if your foot is off the brake and you have auto brake hold, you can take your foot off without the engine restarting, and you can sit there and not have to worry about the engine restarting abruptly or anything like that. And now I'm about ready to continue on my journey. So all I have to do is put my foot on the gas. Look at that. Starts right up, and I'm going. So I'm just telling you, it can actually work and work well. Turn the air back on because it's a little warm in here. It can actually work and work well if it's done correctly. A lot of people hate this feature, and I can understand. I mean, many auto journalists hate the feature of auto start stop, but yet they don't complain when a hybrid does it all the time, automatically, at random, everything else. Usually in a hybrid, when you slow down to the stop, the engine is already off. So you don't have to worry about the engine, and the engine comes back on when it wants to. With auto start stop, is it a hybrid? No, but it does help to save a little bit of fuel. Again, it's going to be marginal. You may get a 5% savings, if that, but at least it's something to where when you're stopped, right now, I just stopped at the stop sign, turn signals on, the engine is off. Again, my foot is off the brake because I have the auto brake hold on. And what's nice about this, I can sit here without the engine running in the background. The engine is off. I still have a little bit of air conditioning coming out the vents. Now, yes, I will say this. If there is a big demand on the system, the auto start stop will be disabled. And what I mean by it just turned back on and I didn't even move. If there's a big demand on the system as far as air conditioning or heating or anything like that, it will prevent the auto start stop from actually activating, because it knows you need that. The engine needs to be running in order to produce air conditioning. It needs to be running in order to produce heat. But at the same time, if there's not a big demand on the system and there's residual that can be filtered in, it'll activate the auto start stop. Now, for me, I don't mind it. I've been living with a hybrid Maverick for almost 3 years, with engine turning off and on at random. Now, granted, in a hybrid, you do have an electric AC compressor. You do have an electric water pump that helps to circulate heat and AC even while the engine is off and everything else. So you can actually sit there for longer periods of time with the engine off and not worry about burning any fuel. But the auto start stop is not a detriment feature. At least I don't think. If it's done well, if it's done correctly, it's not that bad of a feature. Now, you may have a different opinion. I understand that. Some vehicles do not have an auto brake hold feature. So you got to keep your foot on the brake constantly. Otherwise, if you let your foot off the brake, it'll turn the engine on, and then you put your foot back on it shuts it off, turns it on, that can be a little annoying. But again, if it's done correctly, and I think, at least in this particular vehicle, in this Ford vehicle, it is, it actually works well. Now, I will say this. For example, I come up, I'm in my driveway, engine is off. Now, I'm in drive. I'm going to shut my air conditioner. Actually, I'm going to shut my fan off real quick, which will shut the whole system off. All right. So I'm in drive. Air conditioner's off. I could probably sit here for at least almost a minute and a half. Now, you may be like, well, you're in your driveway. You're ready to go into your house. If you shift it in park, or if I undo my seatbelt, the auto start stop will engage the engine before I shut it off again, which is kind of weird and annoying. What I like to do is when I go to a certain spot, like in my driveway, in my garage, or whatever the case may be, I'll just do this. Auto park and brake automatically goes on. This automatically shifts in the park. And there you go. You don't have to worry about the engine just turning on just for a brief 30 seconds, just for you to turn it off again. Usually with most modern vehicles, they'll automatically shift in the park. They'll automatically put the parking brake on as soon as you shut it down. Now I can get out of my vehicle and do what I need to do instead of the engine. I will say this, and I'm going to close with this. I believe I drive, I think it's close to almost 50 vehicles a day. I work for a rental car company, so I drive quite a few vehicles a day, almost 50 a day. And I've been in so many different vehicles. The worst auto stop ones has to go to Toyota, especially on the RAV4. I go and stop in the RAV4, the engine shuts down, and then all of a sudden, as I shift into park, or once I'm in park, and then I undo my seatbelt, the thing just jarringly jars back to life. It is so weird. It is so annoying. I can't even shut it down, because the RAV4 is just one example where you can't automatically, it doesn't automatically go into park. You have a regular gear shift. So again, if it's done right, done well, like it is on most vehicles with auto brake hold and everything else, auto start stop can work very well, and it doesn't have to be a hindrance. But there are some vehicles where it can be jarring and weird, and you got to be able to shut it off. And I don't remember if you can in the Toyota. I have to a little bit look deeper into that. But in most vehicles, you can shut it off, which is nice. Awesome. Well, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, Put that in the comment section. I'd love to hear your feedback. Maybe you have a newer vehicle that has auto start stop and it's not a hybrid and you're annoyed by it, or it doesn't do, it's not what you thought it was, or it's not, not well done. Let me know. I'd love to hear that feedback. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for more comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I upload every single Wednesday morning and every single Saturday afternoon with jmcGarage Talk. Thank you, and you guys be blessed with more videos that are going to be coming.